Okay, so this was the performance task that was in your Google Classroom using your math book. Um, I know that you can actually write in your math book on this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and go over it with you. In the directions, I told you to do it in your notebook, not realizing that you could actually write on top of this paper in your book. My teacher's copy does not do that. I don't have the ability to do that. But once our students in the classroom today pulled theirs up, I could see that they could do that. So either way was fine with me. All right, so first, video websites include a count of the number of times each video is viewed. Kara selects her favorite videos and records the number of times each was viewed in the video views table. So over here, we call this a chart, okay? And in this chart, the first column tells me what the name of the video is, and the second column tells me how many views each of those videos got. So I'm going to use the information in this chart to answer these questions. So in part A, Kara thinks video B is the funniest and that video C is the cutest. We have to use greater than, equal, or less than to write comparisons between the number of views for video B and the number of views for video C. Now, the fact that Kara thinks that B is funniest and C is cutest, that is not necessary at all. That's just some information they're sharing with you. What we have to do is compare the views. Okay, so remember, we're going to stack. So I would stack 534,112 and 762,351. Now, right away, I can see the 100,000th place is going to tell me my answer. So I have to write the actual comparison. So I would say 534,112 is less than 762,351. So I would expect to see where you stacked them and then also where you wrote your comparison out. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too hard. So in part B, Kara notices video A has the greatest number of views. Draw a place value chart and explain the relationship between the values of each for and the number of views for video A. So to draw a place value chart, I'm going to have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my 10,000s, and my 100,000s. And I'm going to stop there because when I looked at video A's views, it only went to the 100,000s. So then I can draw my chart. Now, if you're doing this in a book, the best thing, or on the website, we actually pulled up the shape tool and drew a square, and then we used the lines to draw the place value separations. And then you can use your text tool to type. So let's put this number in here. So 844,372. It wants me to talk about the relationships between the two fours. Okay, so I know that this four right here is worth 40,000 because I have four 10,000s. And I know that this four right here is 4,000. Okay, so how would I say this? Well, how would I explain the relationship? Well, I could say that the 4 in the 10,000s is 10 times greater than the 4 in the, or than 4, actually, I'm sorry, than the 4,000s. Okay. We could also say that 40,000 is greater than 4,000. Okay. This would be your perfect answer. This would be an okay answer. Okay. All right, part C. Kara rounds each of the number of views to the nearest 100,000. List those numbers of views that when rounded to the nearest 100,000 have the same result. So looking at that, I'm going to have to round each of these, okay? So if I'm looking at this one, I know that I'm going to look at that 4. The 4 tells me to go down to 800,000. If I'm looking at B, the 5 is the 100,000, so I'm going to look at 3. My 3 is going to tell me to go down to 500,000. I'm looking at C, 7's in my 100,000s. That's 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We go up. So that's going to go up to 800,000. And then on D, I'm going to look here, and that 0, 1, 2, or 3 tells me to go down. So, and this is not, it kind of is blending together. Let me make that more clear. It's 500,000. So it says list those numbers of views that when rounded to the nearest 100,000, they have the same result. So videos A, C, and D all round to 800,000. Okay. Now you could have done your work right here, or you could have done like I did and used up here. There wasn't a specific place. It didn't ask to see your work. Or you could have used another sheet of paper. All right, so now Karen notices video websites also keep count of the number of times each video is liked by a viewer. So use the video likes to answer these questions. So the other one was views, and these are likes. Which place value would you use to compare the number of likes for video B and video C? Now here's the great thing, folks. Guess what? They've already stacked them for us. So if I take a look, it's not the 10,000s, it's not the thousands, but it is my hundreds place that is different. That's kind of awesome that they stacked them for us. Part B, write 3 numbers that are greater than and 3 numbers that are less than the number of likes for video D. So video D is actually 11,305. I could do anything I wanted. I could say 10,000. Oh, wait a minute. Let's start with greater. My bad. Let's say that 12,305 is greater than 11,305. I could say 14,000 is greater than 11,305. I could even go 11,306 is greater than 11,305. Okay? You get to pick any one you want because it doesn't necessarily ask for 3 numbers from our chart. It's just asking for any 3 numbers. But then I also have to show 3 numbers that are less. So let's see here. I'm going to say 1,000 is less than 11,305. I'm going to say 10,000 is less than 11,305. And you know what? I'm going to go one less. 1,304 is less than 11,305. Okay, so once again, any number that was smaller than 11,305 would work. Okay, part C. Another basketball video shows a girl shooting a 3-point basket while blindfolded. That video had 1 more like than video A. Write that number in expanded form and then write the number name. So I've got to do a couple things here. I've got to figure out how many did this basketball video, how many likes did it get, then write it in expanded form, and then write the number name. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So video A had 11,355. If it had 1 more like, that's 11,356. Okay, so in expanded form, it would be 10,000 plus 1,000 plus 300 plus 50 plus 6. And the number name, we could do 10,000 plus 1,000 plus 300 plus 56. Remember that short word form, and I told you that you could use that if you wanted. All right, part D. Kara compared the number of likes for video C to the number of likes for video D. She says the value of the 5 in the number of likes for video C is 10 times as great as the value of the 5 in the number of likes for video D. Construct an argument to determine if Kara's correct. So let's look at C and D. So C has 11,503 and D has 11,305. So what I did is I stacked them. Okay. So she's saying that video C, so that's this one right here. Maybe I should have labeled it. Video C, that this 5 is 10 times as great as this 5 in video D. Well, I know that each place value is 10 times greater than the one before it. So this 5 is worth 500. It would be 10 times greater than the 5's place, but it's not. It's in the 1's place, isn't it? Okay, so really the 5 in C equals 500. The 5 in D equals 5. Okay, and then what I would say, 500 is actually 100 times greater than 5. Okay. All right, this right here, this was kind of like a challenge problem. If you got that, that's fantastic. If you didn't, that's okay. That's just kind of taking things up to the next level. All right, that's it for today. We'll go over a lot of this stuff too when you return. Our plan is we're going to have a test come next Tuesday or Wednesday. With all the NWEA testing, the different quarantines, and then I had to be out with my daughter. We're kind of running just a little bit behind. So Wednesday at the absolute latest, possibly Tuesday. All right. See you all tomorrow.